Have you ever wondered what having your dream job is like? For this speech, I have interviewed Jessica Clow. She is a registered nurse at Sanford Hospital in Jackson, Minnesota. This interview took place on Monday, February 22nd at my home. Jessica is a friend of my mom's, so I reached out to her and she agreed to this interview. She was my choice because she is a great role model to me and she is a nurse, which is the career that I'm interested in. The interview itself went very well and it was very comfortable. I was able to gain a lot of information because of my improving speaking skills. Today I will share with you 3 of the main aspects that were discussed in this interview. These are what the job entails, communication that is used, and some of the education and training. We will begin with what the job entails. Jessica does a lot of working with caring for patients and making sure that they are comfortable. She gives medications and she gives a lot of assessments and checks vitals, does physical exams and tests. And she records a lot of this information on the patient's charts. And she relays a lot of the information to the doctors and other specialists. As for communication, Jessica says that communication is very important for nursing. She does a few different kinds of communication acts, and one of these is speaking and listening to patients, whether it's explaining to the patients what their treatment will be, explaining what's going on with the patient, or listening to the patient, what their symptoms are, listening to how they're feeling. Jessica also does a lot of asking questions and assessing these patients using open-ended questions to get all the information they need to provide the patient with the greatest care. Well, another active communication does is writing this information down so that anybody else who takes care of this patient can know everything about the patient so that they are able to care for them effectively. Another thing that Jessica says is that communication is a lot more effective when you know your audience. Being able to speak to your audience is very good for nursing. It depends on what age you're speaking to, whether it's an adult, a teenager, or a kid. It is very important to know that because then you are able to speak in a language that they can understand. Communication is also vital for providing patients with the best care and comfort. Being a good communicator and very friendly and confident and maintaining good eye contact can make your patient feel more trustworthy towards you and feel that you are more reliable, and meaning that they would feel more comfortable. Now moving on to more of the education and training that Jessica did. Some communication training that she did was take classes throughout college, like public speaking classes or speech classes, or doing clinicals where she would go to the hospital and work under a nurse and watch the nurse do communication with the patients. She also did stimulations where she would work with a dummy and the dummy would actually talk back to her when she would be learning communication skills. Another kind of education is continuing education that takes place while you are a nurse and is required for many nurses, and for her job specifically, she has to have 24 hours every 2 years. And these hours can be reused or obtained by the renewal of certifications or attending conferences or doing online courses. This assignment was very beneficial to me because I was able to obtain a lot of information and important things about nursing that will really help me in my career. I've learned all about what a nurse does, how effective communication is, and all about education and training that will be very beneficial for my future. I feel very equipped for this career because I am a very dedicated person and very hardworking, which is very vital for this job. I will also be working a lot on public speaking skills because it is not my strongest suit, and this is very vital for nurses. Next time I have a question, I will also turn to Jessica because she is very knowledgeable about this subject. From this interview, I've learned just how important nurses are, and I'm really looking forward to pursuing this career in my future.